Warning, the following images you are about to see were not drawn by a third grader and may cause mild headaches, heart failure, and or melting eyeballs. Viewer discretion is advised.
So now that I found Varrock, that's where the transformation from noob to not so noob began. I started grinding my ass off to get that 27 combat, and when I finally did, I had like 25 defense rocking the myth armor, but this time I actually had plate legs. I wanted to wear Addy so bad that I kept training to 30 defense, and by this point I was around 35 combat or so. I didn't quite have enough to buy Addy armor, but at this point I had somewhere around 50 mining or so, and I was still using an Addy pickaxe. But I seen so many people with rune pickaxes that I wanted to get one. I asked around and found that it was the best pickaxe in the game, because there weren't dragon pickaxes at the time. I found you needed 41 mining to use it, and since I was level 50, I just had to have one. My Addy armor goal was put on halt so I could get one. Again, I asked around where I could get one, and I was told at the Dwarven Mines. Yet again, I had no idea what or where that was, so I consulted my handy-dandy world map and found it was west of Varrock near a town called Falador. I looked around at Falador on the map and found that there was a furnace near a bank, which was a lot more convenient than Al-Kharid because Falador was much closer to Varrock. So my new home switched from Al-Kharid to Falador. So I headed off to the Dwarven Mines and searched for the guy that sold pickaxes. I found him and I saw that rune was like 30k, which was an insane amount of money, being that around this point I had around 10k total. And so I found that there was iron ore in the Dwarven Mines as well, so I headed to the mines and found them. And guess who was waiting for me when I arrived? Yes, more fucking scorpions. Why do they have to be at every fucking mine? I wasn't so mad this time for the simple reason that they couldn't attack me now. I've just been so traumatized by them to the point that even to this day, 6 years later, I still fucking hate them. But here there was a king scorpion that would always attack me. It just never ends with these fuckers. But it was a lot easier to avoid since there was only one of them. So I started mining the iron, heading to the bank, and instead of doing the logical thing and selling the ore as is, which was worth more than the bars, I decided to make them into bars and sell them, which as we all know, you have a 50% chance of successfully smelting iron into bars. So not only was I losing out on money because the ores are worth more than the bars, I was also losing ores because of failing to make bars. In my journeys of mining, I found a little gate around sort of the area I was mining at, and there was tons of coal in there. I was like, this is where I need to be. This is where I'm going to make loads of money and become one of the richest players in RuneScape. When I tried to enter, I found out that I needed 60 mining to get in. So this too became priority over my Addy armor goal because I needed to get in there. So I grinded out iron bars and sold them in Varrock and eventually racked up 30k at conveniently around the same time I hit 60 mining. So I got my rune pickaxe and headed to the mining guild. Getting into me was like the biggest goal ever completed, and I felt like the biggest boss ever being around 35 combat while everyone else in there was around 70 or higher. So I went in there and started mining boatloads of coal. While talking with several other miners, I found that the best way to make money through this was to mine coal and sell it in World 1 near the bank. So I finally racked up enough for full Addy, but my thirst for the riches wasn't quenched. Everyone in the mining guild was wearing rune armor and I was still an Addy. So I got my defense up to 40 by killing scorpions in the Dwarven Mine since I had so much built up anger towards them and it was time to get back at them. And I grinded out coal every so often and bought each rune piece one by one. It was so goddamn expensive compared to Addy armor. Like one piece was the same price as an entire set of Addy. So I got to the point where I had full rune except the plate body and I had enough to buy it, so I did. When I tried to wear it, it said I needed to complete the quest Dragon Slayer to wear it. I looked at the quest requirements and discovered that I needed practically every free-to-play quest completed to do Dragon Slayer. Challenge accepted. Let the questing begin.